Alright, first things first, we're going to turn on the Wii using the Wii remote. Also, if you'll note, the hard drive, the external hard drive must be plugged into the bottom slot when the Wii is laying flat. Also, the N64 games are loaded onto an SD card because they were having trouble launching from this particular external hard drive, which is not a big deal. So, oddly enough, the N64 are on their 64 gig flash drive or SD card. So, make sure you leave that in there. That's just for the N64 games. The Wii remote's already paired up. So, to launch your disc, you just pop in a disc and launch it right there. I've got a disc handy I can pop in for you right quick. Wipeout game. It's kind of scratched up, but I think that game plays. The guy sort of looks like me. Out of shape fat guy. So as you can see that the Wii disc channel, the DVD drive does work. It launches the Wii game from the disc.
ABC, start here.
Yeah, let me pop that disc out before I forget and forget that it's in there and leave it. So that definitely plays. Let's go back to the Wii menu. I probably should have just reset. Probably should have waited and just hit the home button to go back to the Wii menu. But it's all good. So then to launch any of the other Wii games from the loader, you just click on USB loader, click start, locate your Wii game, and launch it just like you would. I don't know if you can see this, but it should be 107 games, 107 Wii games on there. Trying to make sure the camera can see all this stuff. Sorry about this. So just pick your Wii game and launch it. The Mario Kart Wii. It's actually, I have modded it to where it's got all the tracks are already, you have access to all the tracks and all the trophies already. So you can just pick whichever one you want. So it's got all the trophies already, so you can just go right. You don't have to, but if you're into that and you want to earn your trophies and everything, you can just start a new license and start fresh. So it's totally up to you. But this gives you access to all the tracks and all the vehicles right off the bat. Same with Super Smash. I've modded Super Smash, so it's 100%, what they call 100% save. So when you go into Super Smash, you already have access to all the characters. And just like normally, you would press the home button to go back to the Wii menu. To launch any of the Atari 2600 games, just click on 2600 Atari, press start. Then until you get started, you see it says start emulator, press A. just go down to ROMs, press A, and then scroll to find your game. I like Space Invaders, but it's way down there. But the cool thing about it is whatever game in this that you play last, when you come back to play it again, it will be on that game. As you can see, it's got all the Atari 2600 games. There's nothing more old school than Atari 2600. Let's see. So Space Invaders, there's a hack version. I've never played that. And then there's the regular version. Then just press A. At this point, you would want to turn it sideways. Your start button will be the plus button. Hit the plus. And then you would display it in this fashion here. He got me. To exit this, you hit the home button. Hit the home button again, and it returns you to the main menu. Now to launch the Nintendo or the NES games, just click on the FCE Ultra GX. Click Start. This also has game saves if you're in the NES. Also has game saves. I'll show you how to use the game save. So you click on the game, launch the game first. And for these games, you can just use the regular Wii remote. You would just use the Wii remote for the Atari 2600 and the Sega and the NES and the Super NES. You would only use the GameCube for the N64 and the GameCube games. Or the virtual games, which is on the main menu. So when you get here, press 1. Is it press 1 or plus? I get them confused sometimes. So then at this point, you would turn the controller sideways. You just use it like the old school Nintendo. You can't resist doing this. So you get the idea. So if you want to do a game save, you press the home button and then choose save. And if you do state, that will save the exact state of the game. And see, it's got the date and the time. Then, no matter what you're doing, you can leave it for a day or 2 days or a year, whatever. Whenever you come back, you can return exactly to that state. Choose the state. Go back to the main menu. And when you come back in, you choose this. You start the game. Press the plus button. Once the game's started, then you would press the home button and then do load. And you see your game's save state. So it picks up right where you left off. So at this point, we're going to press home and go back to the main menu. And you can see all these games are in here in alphabetical order. To choose other games, you just go up to the top. And you can see all the folders, all the games, the ROMs are in alphabetical order. So starting with And to exit, just click exit. Now the Super NES is going to be the same exact way because the emulator is set up identical to it. So you would just click on the Super NES, start, and you can see where I got Mario World picked in here. Play Mario World. Hit the plus sign and start. And the same thing, if you want to do a save or load a save, click the home button, and you see you got your save and your load options. And you see where I had played this in June 6th, I guess, so you can load this state. You see where I was whenever I last played this. That's not the last time I played. I think it's the last time I did a game save, but it doesn't matter. But pretty cool. And just exit. Play the N64 games. Just click on N64. Start. And at this time, you want to put down the Wii remote and pick up the GameCube remote. And you'll see it recognizes the GameCube controller as the first player, player 1 by default. Click on New ROM. Oh, I gotta turn this on. Turn on the GameCube remote. It's got an on and off switch here, and that would help, right? So press New ROM. Notice that it is searching from the SD card. It's searching. Give it a few seconds. To navigate, you can use the triggers, or you can go over to where it says next and press A. And then when you see the game that you want to play, just navigate to that. You can also use the triggers, go back. Zelda, Mario Golf. I used to love playing Mario Golf so much. Mario Kart. Then you just press A. And you just press the start button. Press A. Choose your CCs, engine size. Always races Luigi. Luigi's my boy. Anyway, so you see now on the N64, when you want to exit a game, you actually need to press reset on the Wii console. If you press reset one time, it brings you back to this menu. At this menu, you can choose new ROM or quit. If you want to do a new ROM, then you would press A and then go browse through the games and select a game, or you can just quit. Next thing we're going to choose is the GameCube. Nintendo is the emulator for the GameCube games. Just click on this. Always choose USB for the GameCube games. So you just go down one, press A. And I'll show you something right quick. If you press B for the settings, you want to go to memory card emulation. Make sure that that's on, and that's virtual memory card. If you don't make sure that this is on, then it'll say you can't save your games. And I will usually scroll down to go to video and make it force NTSC, which is the video format. The rest of the stuff I pretty much leave as is. It's totally up to you. If you want to change any of that, you do so at your own risk and at your own, depending on your level of skill and knowledge with this. Then you have to actually press the home button on the Wii remote to go back. Then press USB. See the games. We're going to go press B to go back to check the settings and make sure that they held. You see that the emulation is on and the video game mode is on force NTSC. NTSC, my bad. So we're going to press home again to go back to the games. Press A. I just wanted to double check. Then it loads up all the games. You can see these are all the GameCube games. Scroll through and pick your game and press A. It's pretty much all there is to it. And the listing on the eBay had the list of all the games, so you can look at that. Luigi's Mansion, so much fun. Mario Party 4, 5, 6, and 7, I think, are on here. Yeah, there's 4. It's out of order, but it's just because of the file name structure. But 4, 5, 6, and 7 are on here. Mario Golf, the Toadstool Tour, that's fun. Mario Double Dash, that's what I was looking for. Always a lot of fun. This is the only Mario Kart where you can play 2 players can ride in the same vehicle together, and it's awesome, and I wish they would bring it back. And just press start on your GameCube controller. And press start. And make your options. Pretty much straightforward. You've probably been playing video games your whole life, and you probably don't need to know half of this stuff. I think I did a false start. Anyway, so the GameCube games, when you want to exit the game, you actually have to push. Sometimes reset works, but it just brings you back to the beginning. So you actually have to power off the console. That's the only emulator where you actually have to power off the console. Set the GameCube controller to the side. Turn the Wii back on. The only thing left to test is the Sega. Now, I will say about the Sega, if you're just playing one player, everything is already by default, everything is ready to go for one player. If you're going to play 2 players, then you're going to need to go into the settings, the options, and change some things. Basically, the controls. This is only if you're going to play 2 player. If you're going to play 2 player, you're going to want to go into the controls and add the second player. Well, I think that looks correct there. I don't remember doing that. Ha. But yeah, if this is correct, leave that as is. I believe that's the only thing you have to change. But just access the games. Actually, it said ROM load device. We don't want SB. We don't want it the SD card. We want it the USB. Make sure that's on the USB. So go into the system. Load game. recent. And this is just messing up because I put the SD card in. So if you notice that, press the home button. Sometimes you got to press the home button to go back in this menu. Sometimes you press B to go back. So it's kind of confusing, but either back button or the home button. So if you click on Mega Drive, the Mega Drive and Master System are the only systems on here. Mega Drive and Master System. These games are not on here. But the Master System is like basically all the Sega games, and then the Mega Drive is the rest of them. But if you click on Mega Drive, you'll see that there are games here. And if you hit that, and then pick one and play it. And that's all there is to it. But if you can do with a home button, go back, you can pick the Master System. And then you see here you have to pick MS for Master System. And then scroll to the game that you want. The cool thing about this is it looks like a lot of games to go through, but just like the other one, just like the other games, the last game that you played, it will save it for you in the recents. So I'm in the wrong one. I was just looking for Frogger, but if I do the home button, go back to Mega Drive, scroll down, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the Sega games. I think it's 900 games, and just looking for Frogger. For example, Frogger. And anytime you get into a game, you saw that the games were on the left and there was a place for a picture, the artwork on the right side, and it's not there. But you can do what you can do. And then when you get into Frogger, you hold the remote like this, press the plus, press plus again. And when you're in here, you do the home button. The home button is like the pause. You can pause it anytime. You see over here where it says shot. If you use the cursor, the Wii remote, and do screenshot, this is for screenshot. Then go back to load game. Go recent. You'll see Frogger's there and a screenshot is there. So because there's like 900 games, it would take forever to get all the games in here and all the artwork for this thing. So you're probably never going to have time to play all 900 games, but once you, if you're a fan of Sega and you find yourself playing Sega a lot, you pick the games, and this will show up in the most recent list. You won't have to pick from Mega Drive and Master System. Once you start, you pick your game and then you come back. If you pick your game, frequently play games either from here or here. When you come back, just go into recents and the game will be here. Then once you start the game, if you want to pause it with the home button and do a screenshot for your artwork, that's totally optional. You don't have to do it. Otherwise, you just start the game, hold your remote sideways, press the plus button. It's one of my all-time favorite games. I'm old. We used to play this in the arcade in the 80s when it first came out. So much fun. Ouch. You'd think I'd be better at playing it. Yeah. So you get the idea. And so if you want to do a save, do the home button. And you see you got load and save right here. This will pause it. Hit the home button will pause it. Then you could do a load. Empty slot. Pick an empty slot. Save it. You see over here it says save. Oh, sorry. This save at the bottom. And then pressing the home button again. You see in the load and save. And then this is like the other one before where you have the timestamp. It's like the saving the state. If you came back in here and you had made a lot of progress and you wanted to play this one from where your save or just your last save game, then you would just choose that and choose here load file. So it kind of works on the opposite. If you notice that the bottom was for the save and the top was to load. Anyway, to exit, just hit the home button and hit exit over here. exit the system menu. You saw that there were some other menu options. Use that at your own risk. I never cared that much to do cheats for some of the old school games because I just didn't think it was fair. So that's it for the majority of all the emulators. That covers everything. There's also, these are what they call the Wii Shop games, kind of like on your iPhone, or if you have an Android, when you go to the shop to buy apps for the phone. I don't know if you remember, you probably already know this, but this was these games were available to buy through the App Store or the Game Store on Nintendo Wii when it was still active and live. So it's kind of cool. This is different from the regular Mario Kart that's in the N64. This is kind of like, you can go in here and you don't have to worry about excuse me, like trying to hunt around for the game to find blah blah blah, that sort of thing. Some people like this, some people don't. So it says you need the classic controller, but it does work with the GameCube controller. And you notice it's not on again. So just press the button. It's on, but it wasn't active. So just press the on button. See, that was a lot faster than hunting through on the N64, but it's totally optional. The cool thing about this is if you're playing any of these games and you want to exit it, you just hit the home button and it gives you the options just like playing on the Wii. And Yet It Moves was a really popular WiiWare game. Lost Winds, and of course Paper Mario, very, very popular RPG. Anyway, so that is it. You'll see that the other channels are moved down here. The homebrew is what I use to mod. These things are inactive. No point in clicking on any of this. If you click on the homebrew channel and go poking around in there, and if you're not familiar with how to do it, you can really mess up. So I would advise you, in a nice way, I would say just leave this alone. This is the homebrew channel that lets all the rest of this stuff function here in this area. But that's pretty much it. This will stay this way until you also would not want to go in here and the settings and format the game. If you ever format the console, you're going to lose all the hacked part of it. So you definitely want to avoid that too. Don't ever format it, and don't pull the hard drives. Don't disconnect the hard drive. Don't disconnect the SD card. And it should work fine. Don't go poking around in the homebrew. Other than that, everything works fine. As always, you can reach out to me. You'll have my Gmail account. My Gmail is johnmfautry@gmail. And I'll have that I'll add that in the description when I ship out the unit to you. And you can email me. Depending on what you're into, some of the N64 and some of the GameCube games will have certain settings that help them play better, launch better. But they do launch, but it just depends on what you're playing. It's with hundreds and hundreds of games, it's hard to include that in the description. It's hard to include that even in this how-to video. Probably 99% of these games just launch with no issue. They will launch, 100% of them will launch, but some of them you do have to adjust the settings, and that just depends on which one. And it's not that they won't launch, it just depends on like the audio or video clarity, more or less the quality. Like I said, it just depends on what you want to play. But if you're having any problems launching any of these games, reach out to me first, and I'm sure I could send you settings for the game to make it launch okay and everything. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for your purchase.